Uh, this is pretty interesting. I think what this guy said about Trump winning over the youth is going to be absolutely true.
He was down 12% in North Carolina, 15 in Massachusetts, 18 in Virginia, and 25% in Texas. The fact is, young liberals just aren't turning out in droves for, I don't know, crotchety old 78-year-old. Joining me now, Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, author of the new book. Is this out today?
It is out now.
What? The MAGA Doctrine. Okay, and I just got my copy. I'm so excited. Also with me is Scott Rasmussen, pollster at Ballotpedia, editor-at-large. All right, Charlie, why isn't Bernie able to get his young supporters to the polls?
Well, this is amazing news, and I'll tell you that despite the media narrative, younger voters are just not that enthused for the Democrat candidates right now. I mean, look, Bernie Sanders did the best out of all the Democrat choices amongst younger voters, but the narrative was that my generation was going to vote socialism, to the highest office in the land, and the data is showing that's actually not happening. And we experience this every day at Turning Point USA, and we're seeing young people second guess their professors, second guess this Marxist narrative. And I'll tell you what, Bernie is the first pick. I'm telling you right here and right now, Trump can win the youth vote against Joe Biden if that ends up being the nominee. It'd be the first,
quote unquote, Trump can win the youth vote against Biden if he becomes the first pick.
time that a Republican president wins the
That's
youth
a
vote
pretty big
since the
order,
1980s.
tall order.
He can do it, and I'm telling you, Joe Biden has no energy and no enthusiasm when it comes to younger voters.
Told you. You missed our angle. Weekend at Biden's, but I'm sticking with it. All right. In some states, President Trump actually, Scott, got more votes than every Democrat candidate combined. Check this out. Here are the stats.
This is the AP poll. Alabama, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Tennessee. Trump got more than Biden, Sanders, and Bloomberg combined. Wow. Great stats, if accurate. It's probably true.
Alabama, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Tennessee. And look at the disparity in Texas. So check this out. So you're seeing those. Now we're seeing all of this. This Texas voter turnout. 1.887 million for Trump. 1.6 million for Biden, Sanders, and Bloomberg combined. Obama in 2012 got 520,000. So the interesting thing, Raymond just pointed this out during the break, Democrat turnout up 29%. Republican turnout was down from 2016 because, look, he was the new candidate then. And he still beat all of them combined. Scott, what does that? I found that fascinating tonight.
It was down. Republican was down 32%, and he still beat all of them combined.
What does that tell you about the Democrats' chances of winning Texas, flipping it to blue?
The Democrats have no chance of winning Texas. I think the bigger story here is the tremendous enthusiasm you're seeing in the turnout for the president when the primaries don't really matter all that much, but people are still showing up to support him. One of the things we're looking at Ballotpedia is the pivot counties that were won twice by Barack Obama and then won by Donald Trump in 2016. We know that in Iowa, the turnout in those pivot counties was down significantly from the Democratic primaries 4 years ago. It looks like a lot of those voters who were kind of swinging back and forth in 2016 have said, no, you know what, we're becoming more Trump territory than we were 4 years ago. And that's very bad news for the Democrats. By the way, to Charlie's point about the youth vote, every generation says, our generation. I remember, when we said, hey, if we can be drafted at 18, why can't we vote? What we were hoping for is they would end the draft, and Congress gave young people the right to vote, a right that has rarely been taken advantage of.
Well, a lot of people waiting in line in California. All you do is hear people complain, we have to wait in line, wait in line. We have a right to vote. It's a big deal. I mean, getting pizza, yeah. People are having parties. Okay, Charlie, I have to play this. Raymond was at the Dallas rally just a few days ago for Joe Biden, and he went around asking some of the folks there about why they were supporting Joe. Watch.
What is it about Joe Biden that made you come here tonight and earn your support?
Well, first of all, he had President Obama's back. Joe did it. He took darts for 8 years for us, and so we're going to show up for him. We're going to support him.
It's the Obama factor, then, that has you here.
Yes, it is. The way that he stood by and had to take those daggers by supporting and being the vice president of the first African-American president.
It's the nostalgia.
Yeah, and look, if they think they're going to win the presidency based on nostalgia back to when America was in managed decline, when we were sending billions of dollars to Iran and we were essentially enriching and empowering the ruling class, then good luck with that. But I'll tell you, President Trump has brought a whole new type of politics, one that is populist-driven, where it is people-centric. And I, for one, would love to run up against someone who thinks they're going to go back to this kind of kingdom of Washington, D.C. Idea of campaigning.
Yeah, it's back to the future.
Yeah, exactly.
The MAGA Doctrine. Everybody go out and get this book. Congratulations, Charlie. Sorry I missed the big party. I know there was a big party. I didn't get invited last. No, I'm just kidding. I heard it was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Scott, thanks so much. And coming up, is Jill Biden auditioning for a new job? And is Joe mentally fit enough to be president? We've talked about this, but Raymond Arroyo has different insights, disturbing answers in Seen and Unseen next. Joining us now with all the details is Raymond Arroyo, Fox News contributor. Raymond, you were in Dallas with Biden on Monday night.
I was indeed.
But there was a moment in last night's rally in L.A. that was frankly a little scary, a little revealing. What do you have?
Well, watch Jill Biden's reaction here, Laura. Jill says, "You're okay. You're okay." After she intercepts that
actually
protester.
grabbed the arm
oh no,
of the protester.
And that's Simone Sanders, whom you played earlier. Look at that. And Simone Sanders has the protester around the waist. I mean, we need them for the Saints, offensive team.
We need them on our team.
The avenging visiting angel. We've said it before. I'm going to say it again. Look, if the First Lady thing doesn't work out for Jill Biden, there is a position here as Director of Secret Service, I think. She swooped right in. But here's the concerning thing. When you hear her saying, "You're okay," that's both coach and caretaker. She should not have that kind of influence over him in public. Imagine if Melania Trump were saying, "Okay, Donald, move, go ahead, you're fine,
or
go."
Answering questions.
Right. Or intercepting reporters' inquiries. It would not fly. Now, those you're okay comments at the Los Angeles rally, which only attracted a few hundred people, by the way, even Jill Biden realized when she was there, things were not going well. Watch her expression during this moment of the speech.
The other guy had voted for well, I shouldn't get into that. I won't get going. Look, the iron workers, the steel workers, the boilermakers, the plumbers.
She knows he's adrift. She knows this isn't working. And yet, here he is, vaunted by everyone in the party, lifted up as the designee. But you see, fluency is a problem. I watched him in Dallas, Laura. They kind of drag him out there. He shuffles out. And then he turns it on and he's and then he goes flat. And then you wonder, why isn't the audience crackling? What is it? Where's the excitement? It's all generated. It's not real. And I think audiences and voters down the line are going to see this more and more. One of the reasons there's such a half-hearted response to Biden is because his Democratic supporters are concerned about his mental state. As they told me outside the rally in Dallas, these are his supporters on Monday.
Thoughts on concerns about Joe Biden's mental acuity? I'm 20 years younger than Biden. Even I have slips.
Very concerning. I mean, when he's getting softballs thrown at him and he can't answer the question, it's getting rougher. The hard times haven't even started.
Does the mental acuity thing concern you?
That's one of the reasons why I could not vote with my conscience for Joe Biden.
This is not going to work, Laura. I mean, he's going to have a rough time opposite Donald Trump. This is a little like betting that Cloris Leachman is going to win Dancing with the Stars. It's not going to work. Remember, she was dancing, but it was awkward. God. It was out of step.
It was wooden.
It doesn't. And I hope Jill Biden has some Prevagen in that purse. They're going to need it in the weeks and months
Raymond,
ahead.
Mike Bloomberg ended his $500 million presidential run today, but
Joe's a joke. What isn't hardly anyone he's talking about is that Joe is going to be set up to come in on a cot, and whoever's vice president is going to take over as president. Who are they going to appoint as vice president? Is it going to be Michelle Obama? It's going to be Hillary Clinton? It won't be good. He won't win it. They won't win it. But that's what they're hoping for. Take away Joe on a cot and put in someone else.
to fight the virus overseas. Now, in the clip that you just saw, the VP referenced the Diamond Princess cruise ship, which is where my next guest contracted the coronavirus. Joining me now is Carl Goldman. He was a passenger on that ship and is now under quarantine at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. Carl, how are you feeling, my dear? My goodness, sorry about what you've been through. How do you feel?
Thanks, Laura. It's been a bit of an ordeal, but I feel fine. This virus for me was pretty light, about equal to a very, very mild cold. And today I'm feeling fine. Unfortunately, I'm still testing positive, and so I'm going to be stuck here for a while longer.
I have a question. How many times do you have to test negative in order to be released from quarantine?
We have testing done 3 days in a row, and they test with a swab that goes deep up into each nostril and one down the throat. So they have to come up positive. I have to come up negative in all 3 of those 3 days in a row. They've gotten real high tech out here. This is actually, Omaha is one of the top centers in the country set up by the CDC during the anthrax scare. So everything's high tech. I was in the biocontainment area for about 10 days when I first got here, which is like a scene out of the Andromeda strain. And now I moved, and where I am right now is in a much lower tech area quarantine. What's funny is I get my results, everything's high tech, but here's my results coming on a Post-it note.
Oh, a Post-it note. But you compare the disease, and you were in pretty good health when you contracted it, correct?
Right. I compare it to a mild cold. I would have been at work, if I wasn't contagious, I would have been at work the next day after, a 24-hour stretch. I had the same symptoms most people seem to be getting, of feeling fine, and then the normal temperature zooms up. In my case, I was already on the plane back to America, slept for a couple hours, and woke up with a 103+ fever. They put me in a quarantine area there, ended up landing at Travis Air Force Base, staying on the plane, and they brought me, along with my wife, to Omaha.
Is it true that... I'm sorry, I have to ask this. Is it true that your family is receiving death threats? Is that true?
Yeah, it's really sad. So we're getting death threats. My wife, who finally got released here 2 days ago, returned to run our radio station. We're on the local radio station in Santa Clarita, California. Yes, we've been getting death threats. We've been getting hate mail. One of our traveling companions is in a hospital in Salt Lake City. He's getting death threats. Authorities have had to come in. It's like we've got a plague or we're lepers out there. It's really
sad.
Oh my
God! I mean, it's unconscionable. I mean, it is absolutely outrageous, and you're complying with what you.
He's got death threats. I backed this back up. It's crazy. Why would they be giving him death threats? These people are stupid. They're stupid. Cold-like symptoms, nothing serious. A little bit of fever, big deal. 103, 104, big deal. Nothing. Really nothing. It's just pathetic. He's Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. I tell you, sometimes the ignorance of people is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. So anyhow, his family and him have been getting death threats, his wife and other people. Just crazy. Let's go on. All right, so they're getting death threats. His wife got death threats.
To run our radio station. We're on the local radio station in Santa Clarita, California. Yes, we've been getting death threats. We've been getting hate mail. One of our traveling companions is in a hospital in Salt Lake City. He's getting death threats. Authorities have had to come in. It's like we've got a plague or we're lepers out there. It's really sad.
Oh my God! I mean, it's unconscionable. I mean, it is absolutely outrageous, and you're complying with what you have to do, and you're isolating, and you're waiting patiently. Obviously, that's what you're supposed to do, and you get repaid for that by getting death threats. Thanks. That's really that's unbelievable. Well, we hope you get out soon, Carl.
Thank you.
and we just pray for the rest of, our country and the people around the world that, health professionals are doing the right thing and that our government has a strong response. And, so far we, it could have been a lot worse, but, we'll see where it goes. Carl, we'll be tracking you. Thank you very much, my friend.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Just crazy, crazy stuff. People are foolish, and they're violently foolish. Most regrettable. It is Roger Martin for Billings, Montana. People need to wake up. This really is sad in some ways. Well, on a positive note, this will come to pass, and we'll get through it. There's a lot bigger issues to be talked about. Manufacturing, supplies, supply chain, economics, the Fed rate, a lot bigger things to be talked about. Well, again, this is Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Good night.